Set to lead things off, and to lead things off for the first time ever at Turner Field, here's Skip Caray.
Okay, Joe, thanks very much. McRae is just 0 for 8 on the year, but he's had good luck in his career against Denny Nagel. 6 out of 20 against him with a couple of home runs. The wind, and the first pitch of the ball game, butted down the first baseline. McGriff has it, and McRae is finally tagged out, 1 away. He started back toward the dugout. Fred started to turn around, and then he wheeled and tried to sneak by him, but Fred just laughed and tagged him out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Bulova time at first pitch, 7:47. Bulova available at It's About Time. Located in a mall near you, and Doug Glanville is the batter. Young right-hand hitting outfielder. Big, tall, rangy guy. Hits for some average in the minor leagues, but no power at all. The first pitch to him. Fastball high, 1 ball, no strike.
Did they throw the ball out? Traditionally at a new stadium, you know, that first pitch goes in the Hall of Fame somewhere or in the museum out in left field.
I don't think they did. The wind, the delivery. A little bit low, 2-0, but I was so busy giving you the time at first pitch, I really didn't notice.
I didn't see them roll it out.
2-0 the count. The Cubs not hitting a lick and not getting any pitching. Other than that, the delivery. There's a strike right in there, 2-1. And Grace is out for at least 15 days. Dave Clark has been recalled. They were going to recall him anyway. They go with 12 pitchers. Nagel delivers, and a high, lazy fly into center. Kenny Lofton is there, waiting, 2 out. Here's Ryan Sandberg, the veteran second baseman, off to a 200 start. He's 3 out of 15 with a homer in his career against Nagel, who is 5-3 lifetime with 1 save against Chicago.
You know, Mark Grace wanted to be in this ball game, but I think the Cubs were so concerned after his injury last night that he might absolutely tear that hamstring, and you know that's about a 2-month recovery time. They're hoping to stop the seriousness of the injury by putting him on the shelf for 2 weeks.
So Sandberg stands in. And Nagel delivers. Strike outside corner, 0-1. First time today I spent a lot of time in the Braves clubhouse. You get lost every time you turn around. It's so big. 0-1 the count. The wind and the pitch. Check swing did not go, and the count evens at 1-1. Dan Radisson, the third base coach for the Cubs. Mako Oliveras is coaching at first. 1-1 the count. The wind and the pitch. Swung and chased a high fastball. Didn't get it. It was out of the strike zone. 1-2 the count.
About Sandberg, he made 6 errors all of last year at second base, and he made 2 in 1 inning down in Florida in Game 1.
That's what makes it a strange game. The right-hand hitter waits. Nagel into the wind and delivering. Swung lined into center. Lofton is there. He's got it, and the inning is over. That ball was hit hard. But Nagel gets him 1, 2, 3 in the first. Bottom half, no score. We're about to go to the bottom of the first, we hope, but now Jim Riggleman and the home plate umpire Charlie Relaford are out talking things over, and they're looking up as if the lights are not up to snuff or something.
I'm looking at a bank above the, let's say, the Braves dugout in the upper deck. Every light is on, and I'm looking at the same bank above the Cubs dugout, and there are a lot of blanks.
And this is not a very good sign, and now Foster is leaving the mound, and all the umpires head for the Atlanta dugout. A bunch of the lights are burned. How can that possibly be, that they'd be burned out first game? Now, we may have to wait for them to replace the lights. The Cubs have all taken the field, except for the catcher and the pitcher. Foster was out there and then walked back off, and Scott Service has not come out on the field. And now a conversation. Dana DeMute's on the phone with someone, I assume the press box.
This all started when Charlie Relaford, the home plate umpire, walked out toward the mound, was greeted by third base umpire Gary Darling, and I don't know if Relaford was having trouble seeing pitches in the top of the first inning or not.
Watching the TV monitor, we saw a shot of a bunch of lights not functioning, and looking up, you can see a bunch of Blanks both down the right field line, down the left field line, and sort of behind the Cubs dugout. There's been no announcement made here as to what's going to happen. But that would be a real embarrassment if we're unable to play here because of the lights.
Huge embarrassment. And I noticed this morning, we arrived in the wee hours of this morning on our trip back from Houston, I noticed that the lights were on in the stadium, and that's not unusual the night before the first game to leave the lights on as they do final preparations, which you would think they might have checked to make sure all the lights were functioning during that time.
Well, we'll just have to wait till we hear something, but that's our assumption, is that we got lights problems. Florida, by the way, 3-0 early over Cincinnati in the second inning. You got to give the scores quick. Detroit, they change them about every 2 seconds. Colorado leads Montreal 4-0 after an inning. And in the American League, Milwaukee 4-0 over Toronto after an inning. Earlier, Detroit beat Chicago in extra innings 8-7, the final score in that game. The conversation goes on in the Atlanta dugout. Nobody there but umpires, bat boys, and Bobby Cox. There are no officials. Jeff Porter, one of the Braves' trainers, is on the phone. Now the umpires are coming back out, but just hustling across the field to talk again with Jim Riggleman.
You know, it may be one of those things, Skip, where they say we may have to just play as is and hope that if it's agreeable to you, Jim Riggleman, and you, Bobby Cox, that we play as is and get things patched up for tomorrow night.
That's what they're going to do, it looks like. The theory, and we're just guessing now, but the theory being the lights are no better or no worse for the Braves or the Cubs.
Right, and naturally, when they start showing you blank lights on the TV monitor and they start looking up the lights, then you look at the field and there's something about the game your mind plays on you where you start thinking, well, it does look a little dim down there.
I don't notice that, though, but, I mean, it's bright enough you can see the players' shadows. I don't know if that means anything. Well, we'll take a blinking pause for station identification here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Braves baseball, exclusively on News Talk 750 WSB. Atlanta's home of the Braves, the Hawks, the Georgia Bulldogs. The sports voice of the South. Depend on it.
It's like the old joke. Somebody went home and was looking through their old suits. Are they going to go home tomorrow, one of the officials down here, and he's going to look in his suit pocket, and there's going to be a little slip of paper dated last August that says, don't forget to change the light bulbs. Foster completes his warm-up test. And I assume we'll go ahead here. The umpires are back at their positions. That's too bad. I don't know if there was a power outage of some kind or whether they just forgot to check them. We'll find out, I'm sure, as the night goes on. And Kenny Lofton will lead it on for Atlanta. Foster, 2-0 last year, 2-1 lifetime against Atlanta. Kevin Foster, hard-throwing right-hander. Last year he was 7-6 with the Cubs and 7-6 at Iowa as well. High earned run averages both places. Dave Schwartzbaugh works tomorrow against John Smoltz. That's a 7-10 game. Lofton stands in. Foster delivers, low and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody on, nobody out, bottom of the first. The delivery swung and popped up into short right center field. On comes McRae. He calls everybody off. Makes the catch, 1 out. So Lofton is retired. Michael Tucker, the batter, hitting 167 in the early going. Tucker stands in. Foster into the wind. Kevin delivers. Fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, the wind, the delivery high, 2-0. I look out at that plaza area, and it reminds me of Six Flags. That's what it looks like to me with all the booths and the people wandering around. 2-0 pitch. Here's a strike. 2 balls and a strike.
Reminds me of a State Fair Midway.
Yeah, same thought. The 2-1 pitch. Here it is. Swung, a high pop left side. Doug Glanville waits, calls for it, makes the catch, 2 down. So 2 are gone in a hurry for Atlanta. And Chipper Jones, the batter. The Candyman stands in there. They go to the third. Florida leads Cincinnati 3-0. Colorado's winning their game 4-0, but it changed too fast for me to see who they were playing. The wind and the pitch. Swung, line, left field. Glanville can't get that. A base hit. So Chipper Jones has the first regular season hit in the new ballpark.
And he wants the ball. He told Pat Corrales, I want that baseball.
Foster doesn't know yet. Now he does, and flips it over to the Braves first base coach. Here's Fred McGriff. McGriff, like Chipper, hasn't had much luck against Foster coming into this game. Both 1 out of 9 against the right-hander. Chipper edges away. Foster comes set. And the pitch. Curve, swung, line, center field, base hit. Hanging curveball. Chipper will stop at second. Ryan Klesko, the batter. He tried to throw him an off-speed curveball, and he telegraphed it, and then he hung it, and Fred just steered it into center. I like Darrell Kyle's quote about McGriff's homer. He said, well, I had to come in with a fastball. I got too much of the plate, and he did just what he's supposed to do when he hit the home run last night. In other words, Kyle saying he hit a mistake.
He didn't make many last night.
Oh, he was great. So Foster in trouble, but there are 2 out. Klesko stands in looking for his first hit. And he fouls it away to the left, 0-1.
Like your teasing of Bobby Cox during the Bobby Cox show, I walked up to Clarence Jones tonight by the batting cage and said to him virtually the same thing. I said, boy, you must be the best hitting coach in the world, be able to get 3 runs out of 2 hits the way you did last night.
Yeah, I said something like that to him, too. Funny how that works. The stretch. And the 0-1 pitch to the big left fielder. A little low. It's a ball and a strike. Klesko 2 out of 6 against Kevin Foster. A home run included. 335 down the left field line. 330 down the right field line. 380 in left center. 390 in right center. 400 to straightaway center field. The stretch and the 1-1. Swan line into left field. Glanville is there. He's got it, and the inning is over. That ball was hit hard, but right at him. So the Braves come up empty in the first. 2 hits, but no runs, no errors. 2 left at the end of an inning. No score in the ball game. We go to the second inning. No score in the ball game. Sammy Sosa will lead it off for the Cubbies against Denny Nagel. Sosa, Sean Dunston, Kevin Horry, the first 3 for the Chicago team. Boy, Sosa had a great year last year, and it was interrupted early. I think he just played 123 games, something like that. I'll look it up for you. I'll look it up for you very slowly. Here we go. 273 in 124 games, 40 homers, 100 RBIs, and he had a broken wrist. He's off to a slow start. 091, just 1 out of 11. He's 6 out of 29, 2 homers included against Denny Nagel. No score after 1. And the Atlanta left-hander is into the wind on the pitch. Fastball high, 1 ball, no strikes. Sosa, as I'm sure you know, a right-hand hitter. Nagel into his motion. He cuts it loose, a little bit high. 2-0 the count. Braves have the only 2 hits in the game. The right-hand hitter stands in. The wind, the pitch. Swung, high pop, foul back, and out of play. It's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the fans scramble for the souvenir, and a young lady comes away with it down below. She's from Lithia Springs, Georgia. 2 balls and a strike. Nagel again. Winds and delivers. Threw the fastball by him. Sosa had a home run cut, but he missed it. And the count evens at 2-2. Sammy, a very deliberate hitter. He takes a little walk around the batter's box. And now he stands back in there. The Cubs were swept by the Marlins 3 in a row. The pitch, swung, hit up the middle, off the glove of Nagel. Jeff Blauser has it. Bare hand pick up and throw. He got him. Great play. 1 out. Blauser on the move. Scooped it barehanded. An off-balance throw, and Sosa's retired. 1 away. If you're scoring with us, 1-6-3 and 1 out in the second. Here's Sean Dunston. If Nagel doesn't get a glove on that ball, it's through and into center field, so credit him too. But Blauser, an outstanding play and an underhanded flip to just get him. Sean Dunston stands in. Dunston 1 out of 11 on the year with no RBIs, but he's had good luck against Nagel, 7 out of 20. The pitch, swung, pop foul back and out of play, 0-1. Young Kevin Ory, the third baseman, waits on deck. Nagel into the wind and the delivery. Swung, line down the right field line. That will twist foul. For Dunston, this is a homecoming. He played last year at San Francisco, where he hit 300, had physical problems again, 287 at bats. I never did understand why a guy with a bad back would sign to play in the windy, cold weather of San Francisco. Well, I know why. Money. 0-2 the count.
And the fact that he was very popular there. Familiarity.
The pitch, swung, and there's a drive to left field. Back goes Klesko, still going. He's there, and he's got it. That ball didn't carry much at all. Looked like he really hit it well, but I guess not. Maybe off the end of the bat. 2 down. And here's Kevin Ory out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. An all Big Ten selection a couple times out of the University of Indiana. Hit .314 at Orlando in 296 at-bats last year. Then hit .208 at Iowa in only 48 at-bats. But a good spring has won him the third baseman job, at least for now. He's a great big guy. 6'4", 210-pounder.
Southern League MVP.
The pitch to the low. 1 ball, no strikes. Two out, nobody aboard. Nagel has set down 5 in a row. The wind, the pitch. There's a fast strike right in there. Denny going to that fastball a little more than he normally does, it seems. A ball and a strike. And the left-hander gets the sign. He's into the wind. He deals. High and away. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I liked what Denny said about his start last year. He got the opener for Pittsburgh, and he said he had so much adrenaline. He was all over the place and very wild, and he thought that would help him tonight. He thinks he learned a lot from that.
2 balls and a strike. The wind and the pitch. Right in there. Fastball outside corner, 2-2. Nagel gets the sign from Javi Lopez.
Nagel's got a real contagious smile, as you know, Skip, and tonight saw him in the clubhouse hours before the game, said hello, and it was a one-word hello, terse game face answer.
Yeah, he was a very nervous guy. The 2-2 pitch. Swung, chopper to short. Blauser in. Good hop. Throw to first. Got him by a step. Or he runs very well. So Nagel sets him down in order again. We go to the bottom of the second in a scoreless game. Lopez leads it off. Time for the Goodies home run jackpot worth $650 tonight. And Javi bats for Mr. Irvin Rast, who lives on Carriage Circle in Stockbridge, Georgia. Kevin Foster into the wind and the pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Game time 7:10 tomorrow. Talk show starts it at 5:35. Major League Report at 6:05. The pitch. Low, rather, at 6:35.
We got more lights, buddy. Look how much brighter it is.
Somebody said a truck backed into a transformer or something.
This bank over here to my left above third base, all lights are brightly shining, and it is brighter on the infield already.
3 balls and no strikes. I can't tell the difference, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, take your sunglasses off.
No, that's not the problem. The pitch. Swung and lined into right center field on a 3-0 pitch at the hit. It rolls to the wall. Javi around first. He's on his way to second with a leadoff double. They turned him loose 3-0, and he rifled a double into right center. A good start for Atlanta in the second inning. It's all those years in those gloomy cocktail lounges.
You liked it a little smoky, didn't you?
Yeah. But those days are long gone. Here's Mark Lemke.
You wanted the national anthem to be Feelings.
That's right. That song has been sung more poorly than any song in history. The stretch. The pitch to Lemke. Fastball high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at second, nobody out. Scoreless game, bottom of the second. Marcia Ford, who lives in College Park, is the person for whom the Limmer is batting. She lives on Jones Road. The stretch. The 1-0 pitch. Here it is. Let up. Strike. Inside corner. 1-1. Mark would like to pull the ball to the right side to get the runner to third. The number 8 hitter, Jeff Blauser, is on deck.
He was so funny last night after the game. You know, he failed on his 2 bunt attempts before doubling in the 8th inning. He goes, well, I guess that showed Bobby how into that bunting attempt I was.
1-1 the count. Javi leads the pitch. Let up. Not a good pitch. This one on the outside corner. It's 1-2.
That's something that most people felt Foster was going to need if he was going to be successful. He had a pretty good fastball. He's got a very good arm. He had a good fastball slider, but he needed an off-speed pitch, and that was a good straight changeup right there.
1-2 the count. Foster looks in. Service with a sign. The stretch. Now the pitch. Struck him out. He chased a bad ball. A fastball up in his eye. So Lemke can't get the runner over. That's the first out of the inning. And Jeff Blauser is the batter. He bats for Ann Jernigan, who lives on Druids Drive in Conyers. Blauser off to a good start. He's hitting .375. He's driven in a couple of runs. Runner at second, 1 out. The stretch pitch. Fastball right through there, 0-1. No score, bottom of the second. The Braves threaten. Colorado 4-2 over Montreal in the third on the Sherwin-Williams scoreboard. The stretch. Now the pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. 1-1 the count.
You know, it takes a true pro to do the goodies. Sherwin-Williams scoreboard. Play-by-play. Scanning the crowd.
It's all those years in those cocktail houses. Just kidding, folks. 1-1 the count, the stretch. And the pitch. Curveball swung, fly ball right field. Sosa back there. Javi tags. Here's the catch. Javi's going to try to come over. Here's the throw. It's off the line, or they'd have had him. Sosa's got one of the best arms in baseball. But Javi got away with it. He's at third, but 2 are out.
When you're not scoring runs and you're not getting hit with runners in scoring position, you got to do the little things. Mark Lemke failed to get the runner to third, or that would have been a run for the Braves on the sacrifice fly.
So Denny Nagel, the batter, he bats for Jennifer Newton, who lives on Cricket Hill Trail in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And sends us a postcard with a flower on it. The pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at third, but now 2 are out. Milwaukee has jumped all over Toronto. They lead them 4-0 after 2. The pitch. Swung and missed the fastball. 1-1 the count. And the right-hander gets the sign, and the 1-1 pitch. Strike called. Fastball outside corner. It's 1-2. Nagel waits. Foster winds, delivers, struck him out with a fastball, and the inning is over. No winners in the jackpot. Braves got a leadoff man to second base and could not score him. 1 hit, no runs. No errors, a runner left. 2 innings have gone by. No score in the ballgame. We go to the 3rd inning here. Young Brant Brown will lead it off. He's a kid out of Fresno State in Porterville, California. Last year hit .304 at Iowa with 10 homers, 43 RBI, and then came up and in 69 at-bats hit .304 for the Cubs and hit 5 home runs. Left-hand hitter. He has the unenviable job of trying to take the place of Mark Grace, and he's by trade an outfielder being forced into duty at first. Denny Nagel has set down 6 straight. And his first pitch to Brown, a strike over the outside corner, 0-1. Former Pirate Dave Clark has joined the Cubs. The pitch outside. For some reason, they started the season with 12 pitchers. I can't believe you really need that many. And they were going to bring Clark up anyway. The pitch swung and missed. And they were going to send a pitcher out, and then Grace got hurt, and they brought Clark up and stayed with 12 pitchers.
Yeah, but I think the plan was to let Schwartzbaugh pitch tomorrow, and then that was it for him. He was going to be gone.
The 1-2 outside, 2-2.
And I was really, I misunderstood the severity of the injury to Kevin Tapani. I thought it was something that was just going to cause him to miss a few starts. He may be out for the whole year.
Yeah, he got operated on today.
Yeah, they gave him $12 million over 3 years.
The line, the pitch. Swung, ground ball to first. Fred boots it, recovers to Nagel, just in time, 1 out. Brown got down the line in good shape. They just got him 1 away. And Scott Service is the batter. Service 1 out of 9 on the year. All these Cubs off to bad starts except for Ori, who came in 3 for 10. But we're not exactly tearing the cover off it either. Service stands in. This guy's a pretty good catcher. The wind, the pitch. Swung and popped up on the infield. Who wants it? Mark Lemke calls for it. 2 out. 8 in a row set down by Denny Nagel. And the pitcher, Kevin Foster, the batter, as Joe suggested. He's an excellent hitter. Our Delta double play inning, the top of the 6th. The winner will receive 28,000 Sky Miles. Two out, nobody on. The wind and the pitch. Strike call, 0-1. 2 out, nobody on. The wind, the pitch. A little bit outside, a ball and a strike. Nagel delivers upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. You got to pitch carefully to this guy because he can hurt you. The wind and the pitch. Swung and missed. Chased a bad fastball out away from the strike zone. 2-2 the count. The delivery struck him out, and the inning is over. 9 in a row for Denny Nagel. That is his first strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. No score in the ballgame. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Top of the order for Atlanta. Kenny Lofton will lead it off. Lofton, Michael Tucker, and Chipper Jones, the first 3. No score in the ballgame. Our ticker tape hasn't arrived yet. Hopefully we'll have it by tomorrow's game so we can keep you up with the details on the other contests. Colorado 4-2 over Montreal now. They're in the 4th. Lofton flied to center his first time. Foster into the wind and the pitch. Low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, the right-hander delivers. Let up. Strike outside corner. 1-1 the count. The pitch. No pitch. He made the pitch, but Lofton had asked for time, and it had been granted by home plate umpire Charlie Rutherford. The wind and the pitch. Upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Be nice to get this guy on one way or another, as he puts a lot of pressure on the opposition. Ori in close on the grass at third. The pitch. He bunts that way, but fouls it off, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Houston leads the Cardinals 1-0, bottom of the second. Florida still 3-0 over Cincinnati in the fourth on the Your Local Ford Dealer scoreboard, which is not grammatically correct, but we just read what they put down. The wind and the pitch. Low and inside, and a full count. 3-2 is the result. The payoff pitch to Lofton. Swung, fly ball well hit, but foul down the left side, and the fans will battle for an opening night souvenir. Fan from Douglasville finally came away with it. 3-2 pitch. Foul tip back. That banged off Service's foot, but he's all right. Still 3-2. Lofton waits. And foul tips another one. He has beaten Scott Service to death with his foul tips.
Well, that was a pretty good pitch by Foster to come back. He's been throwing him fastballs on the 3-2 count. Came back with that changeup, and Kenny Lofton did a good job just to get a piece of it.
And another 3-2 pitch will soon be on its way. The line, Foster delivers. Let up. High fly ball center field. Pretty well hit, but McRae is back there. Shy of the track. He's got it. 1 away. If Lofton pulls that ball, he's in business, but he couldn't. 1 out. Michael Tucker, the batter. He flied to left his first time. Before he bats, let's pause for identification on the Braves Network.
Braves baseball, exclusively on News Talk 750 WSB. Atlanta's home of the Braves, the Hawks, the Georgia Bulldogs. The sports voice of the South. Depend on it.
Pitch to Tucker, drilled deep right field. That ball is gone. The first home run at Turner Field, and Michael Tucker hits it high and far into the right field bleachers. And the Braves lead 1-0. Listen to this crowd. Chipper Jones, the batter. Braves on top. If it wasn't for the FCC, we could have told you all about it. Here's the wind and the pitch. Strike called at the knees. It's 0-1.
I'm just happy you got to tell him what you told him.
Braves on top, 1-0. The pitch. Low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, the wind. The pitch. Good live fastball over the inside corner. 1-2 the count. Chipper singled to left his first time. The wind and the pitch. Fastball outside. 2-2 the count. Again, Foster into the wind and the pitch. Just missed, down and in. Full count the result. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Low, he walked it. So Jones draws a 1-out walk with a run in. First pass by Foster. It comes after the home run. And here's Fred McGriff, who hit an off-speed curveball for a single to center his first time. Ryan Klesko moves on deck. You know, if that's true, isn't it awfully early in the year to have to use a pitcher who you don't want on your team as a starter?
Injuries have caused that.
The pitch, foul back, it's 0-1.
I don't know who's going to take that turn next time around. Maybe their off-day situation has created a matter of them in their rotation where they don't need him more than once, at least for a few weeks.
The stretch, throw to first, runner back. They've got an off day Monday. Then they play Fred waits in the 0-1 pitch. Just missed the inside corner with a good live fastball, 1-1.
He's not afraid to pitch inside, but he's pitching enough in off the plate that he can't get a strike called. And that's hurting him right now, because then when he does have to throw a strike, he has to catch a bigger part of the center of the plate.
Again, the stretch, throw to first. Chipper dives back, makes it easily. One and one, the count. The stretch pitch. Strike call. Let up outside corner. 1-2. Ryan Klesko, the on-deck hitter. The stretch. The pitch. There goes the runner. Swung. Hit foul to left and out of play. A little hit and run on a 1-2 count, but Fred fouled it off.
Good thing he did, too. Chipper got a bad jump. Not so much his timing on the pitch, but the way he broke for second. He stood straight up and was actually leaning backwards when he took off.
McGriff stands back in. The stretch. Now the pitch. Up and in. Again, as Joe mentioned, too far in. And the count goes to 2-2. Kansas City an early 2-0 lead over Minnesota. Foster gets the sign. The stretch and the 2-2 pitch. Instead, he steps back off, thinking he could induce Chipper into breaking for second. But he had no such luck. Again, Foster looks there. And the 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Struck him out. He chased a terrible ball. Fastball up in his eye. McGriff out on strikes. That's 3 for Foster. Ryan Klesko seeks his first hit of the year. He hit the ball well his first time up, line to left. Runner at first, 2 down. The stretch. The pitch. Fastball high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Javi Lopez is on deck. The stretch. And the pitch upstairs. 2-0. So Ryan is in a position to get one to his liking here. 2 balls, no strikes. Again, the stretch. The pitch. Let up, popped up. Short left field. Out goes Dunston. In comes Glanville. Dunston has it. And the inning is over. But the Braves get a run on the Michael Tucker homer. 1 hit, 1 run. No errors, 1 left. We've played 3, and the Braves lead 1-0. We go to the 4th inning. Braves on top, 1-0. Michael Tucker's home run is the difference in the game through 3. Benny Nagel has been perfect. Here to tell you about the 4th inning, Joe Simpson.
Thank you, Skip. Brian McRae, top of the order for the Cubs. He has retired 9 in a row, and McRae up there tried to bunt on the first pitch ever thrown here at Turner Field. Pushed it down the first baseline, but pushed it too hard, and Fred McGriff made the play and tagged him out. 1-0 Braves on the Michael Tucker home run in the third. Nagel winds and fires. Fastball, called strike. McRae, Glanville, and then Sandberg. Brian now 0 for 9 on the season. The 0-1 pitch, changeup, line foul. Look out, folks, down the first base line. 0-2. McRae re-signed to a free agent contract at the end of the year after a terrific season last year. The switch hitter hit .276, scored 111 runs in the leadoff spot for the Cubs, 17 homers to go with it, and 66 RBIs, 5th in the league in stolen bases. He drives one into deep right center. Lofton on the run, has the Jets going, but he can't get it. It goes to the wall, and Tucker has to run it down. On his way to third is Brian McRae, and he's going to make it standing up. The throw gets away from Blauser, but Fred McGriff there to back it up, and Brian McRae with a stand-up triple, the first hit of the night for the Cubs. And he split the right and center fielders perfectly. Kenny Lofton on his horse couldn't get to it. So a chance here for the Cubs to tie it up with a runner at third, nobody out. Doug Glanville, the hitter. He flied out to center his first time up. That triple, the first hit of the year for Brian McRae. He had 5 triples last year. Glanville waits. He's a right-handed hitter. Corners are in case they get one hit to them. McGriff and Chipper Jones would come to the plate. Pitch is high, ball 1. Glanville's an interesting sort. He was a #1 pick by the Cubs back in '91. Has a degree in science and engineering from the University of Pennsylvania. Takes a strike, 1-1. Not too often that an Ivy Leaguer gets drafted in the first round in the Major League draft. He was the 12th pick overall in '91. From the stretch, the pitch, changeup, bounce right out in front of the plate. Tough play for Nagel. He looks the runner back, throws to first, got him. Boy, that took some quickness on the part of Nagel. That was a swinging bunt that barely made it out to the grass. Javi had to stay home in case McRae was breaking for the plate, and Nagel quickly picked it up, turned, and fired to first for the out. 1 away. And Ryne Sandberg with a chance to tie the game up with 1 out. He hit the ball like a rope to end the first inning. A line drive to center. But right at Kenny Lofton. Sandberg just 1 home run short of the all-time record for home runs hit by second baseman. Joe Morgan has the record at 266. Nagel delivers to him. All the infielders drawn in on the grass now. Sandberg takes low for ball 1. Sandberg out of Spokane, Washington, and Gonzaga University. Deep in the box, the 1-0 pitch. Change up a little bit low. 2-0. And after sitting out a year, Sandberg's average much below his career average. Last year he only hit .244, but he did pop 25 homers and drive in 92 runs. He waits. The 2-0 pitch from Nagel. Fastball high, 3-0. Sammy Sosa waiting on deck. And let's see if Jim Riggleman turns Sandberg loose here. Javi Lopez had a 3-0 double for the Braves earlier in the game. Nagel is ready. The 3-0 pitch on the way, and he's taking all the way, and there's a strike. 3-1, 1 out in the fourth. Runner at third for the Cubs. That's Brian McRae. Braves on top 1-0. Nagel looks in for the sign. He's set. The 3-1 pitch. Change up and a beauty. Taken for a strike at the knees. Full count. 335 down the left field line. 380 to the left center field power alley. 400 to straightaway center. 390 to right center and 330 down the right field line. Payoff pitch to Sandberg. Hard hit right at Lemke. McRae was running on contact. He'll score as Lemke had to go to one knee to backhand the play. He throws out Sandberg, but the Cubs tie the game. An RBI for Ryne Sandberg, his first of the year. Even though the infield was drawn in, McRae was going on contact, and he got a great jump. No chance for Lemke to throw him out. So 2 down, nobody on for Sammy Sosa, who hit one off of the glove of Denny Nagel, his first time up. Blauser retrieved it and threw him out. The pitch to Sosa. Fastball sails high, 1-0. Sammy, 6 feet, 200 pounds. 28 years old now, out of San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic.
Doesn't he look bigger than that?
Yeah, he does. Very strong young man. It's a big swing. Foul went off the end of the bat. Good off-speed pitch by Nagel to even the count at 1-1. He hit 40 homers last year, drove in 100 runs, scored 84 runs, and did it in 124 games. Suffered a broken hand late in the year. Takes one in the dirt, 2-1. 100 RBIs in 124 games is doing some pretty good work. A 1-1 tie. We're in the top of the 4th, 2 out, nobody on. Nagel's 2-1 pitch to Sosa. Swung on, popped up a mile high right side. Out on the outfield grass is Fred McGriff. He calls for it, staggers, but has it, and the inning comes to an end. So the leadoff triple pays off for the Cubbies. McRae comes home on a ground out by Sandberg. We've played 3.5. Cubs won, Braves won. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning from Turner Field. The inaugural regular season game here at the new ballpark in Atlanta. A 1-1 tie between the Cubs and Braves. Javi Lopez doubled his first time up. He stands in, swings at the first pitch, pops it up out behind second. Ryne Sandberg under it and has it. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that'll bring up Mark Lemke. Lemke struck out his first time up, chased a high fastball out of the strike zone. But Foster also got Fred McGriff on a similar pitch in the 3rd inning. He has fanned 3 total. Mark 2 for 12 on the season with a double. Foster delivers to him. He swings at the first pitch also, but fouls it back into the crowd. Can you tell where that guy was from? Got that?
Which one? Oh, the guy that cut that foul
yeah,
ball?
just got it.
Let me look a minute.
There he is with that sweater, that V-neck sweater.
Yeah, Gadsden, Alabama.
I think it's his first time here. I don't think he was here last weekend. The 0-1 pitch to Limmer. Swung on in line right back through the box, base hit into center field. Lemke hit a rope right back through the middle. And he's at first with 1 out for Blauser, who flied to right his first time up. Jeff Blauser had arguably his finest day as a major leaguer against the Cubs. Back in 1992, he hit 3 homers against the Cubbies at Wrigley Field on July 12th. Oddly enough, that was not his top RBI night, however. Last year in May against the Phillies, he had a 7 RBI game. Throw to first, and Lemke dives back safely. Last year, Jeff hit .267 against the Cubs with 1 home run, but he has killed them in his career. A .344 career average against Chicago with 14 home runs. Slider misses outside. 1-0 the count. He has hit more home runs by far against the Cubs than any other team in the National League. 14 against Chicago. The next closest is 9 against the Phillies and 9 against Houston. Throw to first, Lemke back. He also, in just 3 short years, has 9 against Colorado. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out, Lemke at first. A 1-1 tie. Foster ready. There goes Lemke. The pitch swung on, hit slowly toward short. Dunston backhands it. Long throw to first in the dirt, dug out by the young Brandt. Brant Brown, who made a terrific backhanded stab on a low throw by Sean Dunston. Dunston started to second to cover as Lemke was running and then had to change his direction. So he made a good play himself just to get to the ball. But Lemke winds up in scoring position. And he'll be there for Denny Nagel, who struck out his first time up. You're so ingrained with the Cubs to think that Mark Grace is over there, it's hard to remember that he's not playing tonight. Pitch to Nagel in there for a called strike. And if you just joined us, or if you hadn't heard, Mark Grace placed on the 15-day disabled list with a pulled hamstring that he suffered stretching a double into a triple last night down in Florida. The 0-1 to Nagel. Swinging and a foul back to the screen. Good hack. Nagel led the National League last year in an offensive category. Sacrifice bunts among pitchers. He's in the hole 0-2. Lemke with a good lead at second. The outfield playing Nagel very shallow, and he fouls one off into the crowd over into the club level.
Josh Caray should have had that ball, but
that's right in the neighborhood of Josh Caray tonight, isn't it? No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Foster. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. Nagel down on strikes for the second time. That's 4 strikeouts total for Foster. And he leaves another runner in scoring position. The Braves now 0 for 19 with runners in scoring position. We go to the 5th. 1-1 tie. A 1-1 tie as we go to the top half of the 5th inning at Turner Field. For the Cubs, Sean Dunston, Kevin Ory, and Brant Brown against Denny Nagel, who has allowed only 1 hit. That was a triple to Brian McRae last inning. Braves have a run on 5 hits, including a home run, the first ever hit in a regular season game here by Michael Tucker. That came in the 3rd inning. Dunston flied to left his first time up. Nagel set to go to work. He kicks and fires and delivers a strike. Got word that Randy Johnson, who was scheduled to make his first start of the year for the Mariners tonight, was scratched due to an illness in his family. His son is in a hospital with a viral infection. The 0-1 pitch swung on foul over by the Cub dugout. 0-2 to Dunston. At Montreal, solo home run by former Expo Larry Walker, his 3rd already. In the 6th inning off of Anthony Telford, Colorado leads Montreal 4-2. Dunston waits. He's in the hole 0-2. Here's a pitch from Nagel. High, 1-2. Had trouble getting the ticker working here early in the ball game, but Dave from Conyers stopped by, and as you might suspect from Dave from Conyers, he just gave it a swift kick. And it's spitting out info now, boy. The 1-2 pitch inside. Dunston checked his swing. Pitch almost hit him, and the count 2-2. They play Dunston straight away. The 2-2 delivery. High, 3-2. Nagel missed up and outside to Dunston, not even close to that fastball. Full count. Then he has not walked a batter. He struck out 1. That was the pitcher back in the 3rd inning. Payoff pitch due. Here it is. Change up, grounded to short. Good pitch. Blauser charges. He's got to hurry. Just got him by a half step. Nice play on the run by Jeff Blauser. 1 out in the 5th. Seven outs recorded so far by Denny Nagel on ground balls. And Kevin Ory will be the hitter. As Skip told you, Ory, out of Indiana University, grew up in Westchester, Pennsylvania. He was a supplemental first-round pick in '93. He hits one off the end of the bat on a short hop to Fred McGriff. Fred makes a nice play, races to the bag, wins the race. 2 down. Another ground ball out. That supplemental pick comes when a team loses a player through free agency, and they get an extra first-round pick the next year at the end of the first round.
Joe, very good news from the Omni. The Hawks are hammering Detroit 74-56. 8 minutes left, third quarter.
That is great, and they've lost 3 times already this year to Detroit. Hawks with a chance to really gain some ground this weekend against Detroit and New York. Breaking ball outside. Ball 1 to Brant Brown, the first baseman, who also grounded out to McGriff his first time up. He's a left-handed hitter, and he's a big guy, 6'3", 205. Swings, hits one off the thumbs to left. In comes Klesko, who throws his glove up over his head to hide and protect himself because he lost it in the lights. And the ball drops in front of him for a base hit. Ryan went to his left, started in, and then suddenly just started covering up like a boxer in the corner. And it'll be a 2-out hit for Brant Brown. Scott Service, the catcher, will be the hitter.
First the lights are too low, then they're too high.
Strike one call. Well, he probably needs to be behind the plate where Hobby is. There aren't any lights Hobby has to battle, I don't think, unless they're in the scoreboard. Nagel works to Service, delivers low. Count even at 1-1. Don Sutton, Pete Van Wieren will head your way in the bottom half of this inning. They've been chatting away over on television. Nagel from the stretch delivers a 1-1 pitch. It's lifted into center field. Fairly deep, but easy play for Kenny Lofton, who's under it, makes the catch. Inning over. So the fly ball that dropped for a hit on the losing it in the lights causes no harm. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We've played 4.5. We're still tied at 1.
Bottom of the 5th inning. Time to get the offense on track. Don Sutton along with Pete Van Wieren the rest of the way with you. It's been a pitcher's duel between Kevin Foster and Denny Nagel. A run on 5 hits for the Braves, a run on only 2 hits for the Chicago Cubs. Kenny Lofton up for his 3rd time. 2 fly balls to center to show for the first 2. Shows bunt, takes ball 1 inside. The Braves got a couple of 2-outs hit in the first, but Klesko flied to left to end the threat. Foster catches the inside corner. It's 1-1. The only run of the night, a home run by Michael Tucker, the first home run ever in Turner Field. Foster's next one is high and away. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Lofton off to a little bit of a slow start, only 1 out of 14, but don't worry, folks, he will get on track. Pops the breaking ball into the left field stands, and it's tied at 2-2.
Yeah, one thing about a player like Lofton, when you've got his kind of speed and his bunting ability, you've got so many ways to try to get yourself out of a slump. But he's hit a couple of fly balls tonight. I know he doesn't really enjoy doing that. That's not really his game.
The 2-2 pitch from Foster. Check swing, foul tip. Didn't mean to, but it skipped off the barrel of the bat into the mitt of Scott Service. And Foster has strikeout number 5. And Lofton collared with an 0 for 3. And a nice Atlanta welcome and Turner Field ovation for Michael Tucker. He picked on a breaking ball with 1 out in the 3rd inning, hit it into the right field seats. The only run of the night for the Atlanta Braves and the first home run ever here in Turner Field. The lefty waits the first pitch. It's up and away, and it's 1-0. Chipper Jones been on base twice. He waits in the on-deck circle. Foster from the line, the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Tucker a little bit late on a letter-high fastball.
Foster trying to become the first Cubs pitcher to get through the 5th inning this year. All 3 of the other starters knocked out before the 5th inning was through.
Bunt toward first. Brown's got a hustle. It tossed to Foster. Past him. That's going to roll by the dugout. No advance. That should go as a base hit. That is a good play by Michael Tucker. A bang-bang play at first, but he does leg it out for a single. And before Chipper Jones takes his turn, let's pause for station ID. You're with the Braves Radio Network.
Braves baseball, exclusively on News Talk 750 WSB. Atlanta's home of the Braves, the Hawks, the Georgia Bulldogs. the sports voice of the South. Depend on it.
I know Foster is a good athlete, but I think in a foot race with Michael Tucker, he's going to come out second every time. So Tucker is at first for Chipper Jones, a single and a walk. Chipper in the left-handed batter's box against the right-handed tosses of Kevin Foster. Solo home run by Charles Johnson. Nobody out in the fifth. Florida 6, Cincinnati 3. The stretch by Foster and the pitch to Chipper, grounded slowly towards second. Over to get it is Sandberg. His one play will be to first. And there's out number 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Just looking at some notes on Ryan Sandberg's career. He has a career fielding percentage at second base of .990. Career percentage of .990, the highest in the history of the game. He made 2 errors in one game in that Florida-Maryland series. It's only the 6th time in his 16-year career he's ever had a 2-error game.
A lot of his, what's the term, detractors think that playing on that long grass most of the time in Wrigley has helped his range, but that doesn't help the hands. He does have a good pair of hands. Here's McGriff. Tucker with a good-sized lead at second. Foster gives him a look and brings it home. Down low, 1-0. Fred single up the middle in the first inning. Struck out swinging in the third. Two out of 11 in the young season. This game, number 4. Braves in a good one last night in Houston, taking 1 out of 3 there. Ground ball headed towards short. Dunston down to one knee. Up, guns it to first. And that'll put a lid on the 5th inning for the Braves. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 left. Through 5. 1-1's the score. It's the top of the 6th inning. 1-1 to score, and you know what that means. It's the Delta double play inning. Our jackpot tonight, 28,000 Delta Sky Miles, will go into the account of Bob Federoff, who lives in Atlanta, if the Braves can turn a double play. The Braves have hit into 3. They have turned 3 themselves. Foster, McRae, and Glanville. First 3 due up. 1 run, 6 hits for the Braves. 1 run, 2 hits for the Cubbies. First pitch swinging is Foster. Sends it high in the air, fairly deep to center. Backpedaling is Lofton. He's under it. He's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out. That's kind of a nice new little promotion. I like this.
Tell you what, 25,000 miles gets you a trip, so we're already above that, 28.
And I suppose we can't enter. Shoot.
Employees of the Braves Radio Network are ineligible.
There's that old disclaimer again. Here's McRae. He takes a little time to allow Foster to make him back into the dugout. McRae has grounded to first, tripled, and scored. And he was one excited young man at third after hitting that triple. First pitch from Nagel. Changeup over, but low, and it's 1-0. McRae's triple, the first hit of the year for him. Here's the 1-0 from Denny Nagel. Up and away, and it's 2-0. Nagel works quickly. Infielders like that. McGriff creeps in at first. Ground ball back up the middle. Nagel can't get it. That's going to squirt into center field. Lofton up with it. Second hit of the night for McRae. Only the 3rd hit of the night for the Cubs.
Well, you got a chance for that double play now with Doug Glanville coming up. He's pretty speedy, pretty tough guy to double up, but got a shot.
And Nagel, pretty much a ground ball pitcher. Glanville, one who hits it on the ground. So Bob Federoff, I hope you're listening. A 4.63, a 6.43, a 3.63, a 5.43. A line drive, double him off. Nagel from the stretch. Short lead by McRae. Bunt going down third, but kicking foul. It's grabbed by Javi Lopez. No balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, we were talking over on the TV side about Glanville. He's really been a leadoff hitter his entire career, all through the minor leagues. He's more of a prototype leadoff hitter, likes to bunt, likes to run, but there's no real true number 2 type hitter right now on this Cubs roster. They've had to move some people around with Mark Grace out of action.
Snap throw to first, but McRae scrambles back under the tag of Fred McGriff. Grace, to me, he's in one of those positions where I don't think he's ever gotten the credit he deserves because he's not a 30 home run guy playing first base. The pitch, up and away, 1-0. It seems like there is this old stereotype. If you play first, you're supposed to hit 30 homers and be big and strong and flat-footed. But Grace is a guy who's a good contact hitter, never strikes out. And in my mind, a perfect number 2 hitter.
He'll let you 40 or 50 doubles.
Yes, he will. Nothing wrong with that.
He wishes he had stopped at second yesterday.
Pitch to Glanville is high. And Denny Nagel falls behind, 2-1.
It was trying to go from second to third that he pulled that hamstring and had to go on the disabled list today.
Boy, that's an injury, too, that takes a long time to heal, because just when you think you're ready, you step in a little hole, you take that extra stride, and there it is again. Here's the 2-1 Glanville. That's hit off the end of the bat and right side into the second row down the right field line. That'll leave it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lemke doing a little gardening at second. Gets the dirt to his liking. Blauser creeps in a step at short. Nagel in like the first side. Now he's ready. And a little bit too much time for Glanville, who backs out. Glanville has flied to center. And tap one back to Nagel. 1 out of 7 to start the year. The stretch and the pitch. Just off the outside corner. Javi Lopez held it for an extra look. But Charlie Rutherford didn't throw up the right hand, and it's a full count. It's got to be even harder for the Cubs to ground into the double play now, because full count, McRae will be on the move. Nagel gives him a look. And the payoff pitch, he's not going. It's popped out of play right side. I wonder if somebody missed a sign. Because McRae has good speed. It was 3-2. It is still 3-2. Nagel with the new baseball. Holds it in his left hand out in front of him as he waits the sign from Javi Lopez. The stretch, and he'll go to first. McRae makes it back easily. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Glanville, a degree in engineering from the University of Pennsylvania. He was an academic All-American while attending that Ivy League school.
So he may be a leadoff hitter, but he's smart enough to be a number 2 hitter. Another payoff pitch on the way. There goes the runner. Ground ball right where Blauser had vacated, into left field. McRae heads to third. Here's the throw. Not in time. Throw back to second. And they have Glanville. Good play, Chipper Jones. Glanville tried to hustle it all the way around to second on Plesko's throw to Chipper Jones, but Chipper off the bag grabbed it, threw a strike to Lemke. He put the tag. There's out number 2. Credit Glanville with a single, and 7-5-4 on the putout. So the Cubs now with a runner at third with 2 gone for Ryne Sandberg. He's flied to center. He's grounded to second. Nagel was going to work from the wind, and McRae had a walking lead and had him measured. Nagel stepped off and decided to go in the stretch, and McRae just grabbed some dirt and threw it down on the ground. I think he had his mind made up. He was coming to the plate. That's an exciting play, isn't it?
Yeah, he might have. Cubs have been so frustrated their first 3 games, and try anything to get them going.
Now Nagel will work from the stretch. McRae a short lead at third. The stretch by Denny, and the pitch to Sandberg. Nice stop. That one skipped off the back of the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Opening night of a baseball season is always a lot of fun, but I don't know if words can give a true description of the excitement for the opening of a new ballpark. The 1-0 to Sandberg. Over but low, and it's 2-0. It's an event that I think tonight was greater than the World Series, because you know the World Series is going to end in 7 games. This is just the beginning.
I think it's one of those nights that'll mean a lot more to all of us somewhere down the road. You get kind of caught up in the work side of it.
Here's a 2-0 to Sandberg. He's taken a strike at the belt, and it's 2-1.
Very big night for the Atlanta Hawks as they try to catch the Detroit Pistons, and the Hawks leading 88-72 at the end of the 3rd quarter over at the Omni.
The 2-1 pitch to Sandberg, cut on and foul back to the screen. That'll even it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I was walking around here, Pete, and enjoying all the many things that go into making this such a wonderful ballpark. And the parallel that I could draw was that this is to the 20th century ballparks, to the late 90s, what Dodger Stadium was to ballparks in the early 60s.
Oh, yeah.
They were years ahead of their time. Certainly this is years ahead of its time. The 2-2 pitch to Sandberg straightens him up right under the armpits. And it's a full count, 3-2. And I don't think I have ever seen two people beaming any more than Ted Turner and Stan Kasten. Kasten may have to sandblast the bugs off his teeth. He's been smiling so much. Payoff pitch. Grounded foul. It's still 3-2. Our big boss, Mr. Levin, here to take in the festivities tonight, too, and he was extremely pleased. Three balls, two strikes. Payoff pitch again to Sandberg. That's foul back just below us. Still 3-2.
That's amazing to me. We came over here last year during the postseason when they had the pre- and post-game parties over here when the Olympic figure configuration was still here and the baseball reconfiguration had not yet begun. And it's just unbelievable that what the work that they did in such a short period of time, a 6-month period.
3-2 to Sandberg.
Here we
Pop
go.
back our way. Make the play, Pete.
Almost.
Up a little below it.
Almost.
Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here we are already in the 6th inning, and something I'm very grateful for. Nobody started the wave yet. And you folks with radios, make sure you don't let them. Another 3-2 pitch to Sandberg. Hammered down the left field line. Klusko's not going to get it. That's going to be off the board. McRae will stroll home. Sandberg is headed to second. It's a 2-out double, an RBI, and the Cubs lead it 2-1.
And that is RBI number 999 of Ryne Sandberg's career. One shy of 1,000.
And 2 of them coming tonight. And your scouting report. What were you saying when we were over on TV?
All night long, Denny Nagel's kept the ball away from Ryne Sandberg. The scouting report on Sandberg now is saying you can get him out if you keep the ball away from him, but he can still turn on the inside pitch. And Nagel made a mistake inside there and had to pay for it with a run-scoring double.
That's going to bring Leo Mazzoni to the mound. The Cubs bullpen starts to stir. It looks like it's going to be Paul Byrd and Terrell Wade. While they do that, it'll give me a chance to welcome some people who became very important to my family and me. A group of the nurses from the Piedmont Neonatal Center are here watching the game down below us tonight. And you will see them in 102, row 13, 1 through 4, a lot this year. Some of the sweetest people in the world, and we affectionately refer to them as Jackie's friends, because they certainly are that. And ladies, glad you're here tonight. Who's covering for you on the night shift? Here's Sammy Sosa. Grounded out his first time up. Popped to first his second time. He's 0 for 2. Nagel starts him with a breaking ball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Braves have out-hit the Cubs 6-5, but they now trail it 2-1. And early in the season, 1-run ball games has been the order of the day.
And low-scoring 1-run ball games. Now they're going to walk him.
There's ball 2. There's ball 1 outside. Don't know that I've ever seen him get a strike on a guy, then intentionally walk him. Ball 2 misses wide.
You know, it could have happened there. It's a little bit of a longer look for Javi Lopez over toward the Braves dugout. They may have been trying to get his attention, and he just didn't hear Bobby Cox. A little bit of a longer distance from the corner of the dugout to home plate.
And ball 4 is wide. Sosa will trot down the first. For Denny Nagel, that's his first free ticket of the night. So the Cubs have Sandberg at second, Sosa at first, and Sean Dunston is the batter.
Give you an idea of the kind of control these Braves starters have. In John Smoltz's first start of the year, he walked 1. It was intentional. In Greg Maddox's first start of the year, he walked 1. It was intentional. Tom Glavine walked 3 last night. Tonight, Denny Nagel has walked 1. It was intentional.
Well, I know you want to take the bat out of Sammy Sosa's hand, but you have Sean Dunston coming in there, who is a career .320 hitter against Denny Nagel. Sandberg away from second, the stretch and the pitch. Make it a point, too, if you come to the game here, So sometime when you see the bullpen start, you go over and stand. You can stand and watch them warm up. That's fun. The 1-0 pitch. Tapped out in front of the plate. Right on top of the plate. It's a fair ball. Dunston did not run. Javi Lopez picks it up, tags him right there. The ball was on the plate. That's fair territory. That is a big out. And the Cubs come away empty here in the 6th inning, although they get 3 hits and leave 2 stranded. Braves come in the bat. Make that 1 run for the Cubs. 3 hits and 2 stranded. Braves come in the bat, trail it 2-1. First pitch swinging comes away empty. It's 0-1. And Kevin Foster doing something for Jim Riggleman he was desperate to have done. A starter get him past the 5th inning. A run on 6 hits for the Braves. 2 runs on 5 hits for the Cubs. The 0-1 pitch to Ryan up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Braves wear the white uni of the home team, but you got to remember, according to Tom Glavine, here's the 1-1 pitch. High, and it's 2-1. Talking to him before the ball game, he said he thinks it's going to be about 30 days before this really becomes a home field.
Yeah, there was a little more familiarity when we got back from Houston last night because we knew where to go to get to the clubhouse, but that was basically all. You still don't really feel like you're in your home territory yet.
2-1 pitch to Klesko is off speed and low, and it's 3-1.
It's like moving into a new house. You get up in the middle of the night and walk into the wall.
He's talking to Turk Wendell, the pitcher who used to be with the Braves, who is on the Cubs. The 3-1 to Klesko. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. He hit a rocket.
First hit of the year for Ryan Klesko. He had gone 0 for 11.
I love it when vice presidents stop by, don't you?
This is my favorite part of the year.
Yes.
Wayne Long just walked in, and I know what's in this box.
A box within a box and a ring within. I haven't seen these, have you?
I saw a model of it down in West Palm Beach.
Can you get Javi Lopez to hold up for just a minute? I want to look at that. Klesko is at first. He's a potential tying run. Thank you, Mr. Long. Ladies.
Yes, thank you.
Pitch to Javi. Breaking ball misses wide. 1-0.
And thank you, Tom Glavine and John
my
Smoltz
God.
and Javi Lopez and Ryan Klesko and all the rest of you.
You look at this. Who designed this, Wayne? We'll try to work the ball game into this. It's a 2-1 ball game. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Javi. Popped up, right side. That's going to climb into the crowd. Over to give it a look is Brown, but he'll run out of room in a hurry here. Wayne, who designed this one? Who did?
Justin's.
Justin's, but I mean, who were the Stan or John or you or Stan did? Stan and John designed it. I can't remember to take these earpieces off when I'm trying to talk to somebody here. It's 1-1 to Javi.
I'll tell you something about the ring that the Johnston's rep told me down in West Palm Beach.
It's big. It's pretty. Thank you, David. Ground ball headed to left field. Back-to-back singles. Klesko will stop at second. And the Braves trying to do some damage here in the bottom of the 6th. They trail it 2-1. But the tying run now at second. The potential go-ahead run stands at first, and it's Mark Lemke.
You'll notice that this ring has on each of the corners a ruby, 4 of them. Each one of those represents one of the National League championships won by the Braves in the 90s.
This is impressive. This is fun. I like these. Well, if they'd have known, we could have waited a few minutes. They're going to have a meeting on the mound with the Cubs. We could have gone over this. Mr. Long and to the Atlanta Braves, Ted Turner, Stan Casson, John Sherholtz.
We thank you for including us.
Yes, we do. It means a lot. It helps. We know we don't throw a single pitch or duck a single line drive, but hopefully we are the last link between the good job you folks do and the people at home, and we thank you very much. Let's pause for station IDs. This is the Braves Radio Network.
Braves baseball, exclusively on News Talk 750 WSB. Atlanta's home of the Braves, the Hawks, the Georgia Bulldogs. The sports voice of the South. Depend on it.
Here's Mark Lemke. Cubs are thinking bunt. Ori is in at third. Brown way in at first. Dunston and Stanberg close to the bag at second. Wheel play, a pickoff play, but they did not catch Ryan Klesko without his flak jacket. He was not caught napping with that one.
Their bullpen is up. The bullpen somewhat obscured from our view. We'll try to get a glimpse of who that is off the television screen.
By the way, in our Delta double play inning in the top of the 6th, there was no winner, so they'll add another 1,000 miles to the jackpot. Tomorrow night, it'll be 29,000 Delta Sky Miles.
See how fast that's growing?
Again, the Cubs infield creeps in. Again, they're looking for bunt. The stretch. Lemke's bunting. And he pushes it out toward third. Good play. Foster will have one play. He'll throw to Sandberg covering at first. And up. Klesko up 90 feet. He's at third. Javi Lopez stands at second. Jeff Blauser, the batter, with one out. Cubs will leave the infield back. Foster will work from the stretch. Blauser 0 for 2. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball over but low, and it's 1-0. Outfield spread out for Jeff Blauser. A lot of room in left center. Now McCray takes a couple of steps toward right center. Way off the line at first is Brown. The 1-0 pitch to Jeff. Down low, nice stop by Service. 2 balls and no strikes. He could get a pitch to jump on here. Keith Lockhart has grabbed the bat and come out on deck. Unless Blauser hits a 3-run homer, that's a pretty good chance that's the end of the night for Denny Nagel. The stretch, the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss by Blauser, late on the fastball.
Left-hander Larry Cassian, right-hander Kent Bottenfield up in the Cubs bullpen.
Or he moves away from the line at third. Now moves in a couple of steps. A lot of room up the middle in the infield. A lot of room in the alleys for Jeff Blauser. The stretch by Foster and the 2-1 pitch. That's over but low. And Foster one pitch away from loading him up for Lockhart. And when Lockhart comes up there, folks, bet the farm on it. He will put it in play. He is a tough man to strike out. Hitters count 3-1. The stretch and the pitch to Blauser. Popped up. Shallow left field. Over to get it is Dunston. Tagging is Klesko, but he's not going anywhere with that cannon out there. That is a big out for Kevin Foster. He gets Jeff Blauser. No advance. So if the Braves are going to come away with a run here in the 6th, they're going to have to do it with 2 gone. And it's going to be up to Keith Lockhart. Lockhart has been in 2 ball games. 0 for 1, but he does have a sacrifice fly.
And the other time up, he advanced a runner from second to third on a ground out after fouling off about 4 pitches.
His former manager, Bob Boone, said he is one of the most delightful people he has ever had the pleasure of being on a ball club with. He is a left-handed hitter. Foster brings it home. High and away, 1-0. Foster again comes set. Looks to Klesko at third in the 1-0 pitch. That's high. It's 2 balls and no strikes. He was originally an 11th round selection by the Reds back in '86. And he packed a lot of minor league suitcases, starting with Billings and ending up with Omaha in '95. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. Pitcher's pitch on the outside corner, 2-1. Bob Boone managed him at Tacoma back in '92, and the promise he gave him was, if I ever get a big league job, I'm going to come after you. And he was with Boone for 2 years in Kansas City. The 2-1 pitch to Lockhart. Up and away, and it's 3-1. Foster comes set, and the 3-1 pitch to Lockhart swung out and missed. A little bit tardy on the fastball. And the count 3-2. If the name sounds familiar to you, the Braves have seen him against him once before back in '94. He was then wearing the uniform of the San Diego Padres. Payoff pitch to Lockhart. Here it comes. He fouls it away, stays alive. He'll foul some pitches, won't he?
Yes, he will. He's got a great ability to hang in there with 2 strikes and foul off one pitch after another and trying to get one he wants. In fact, one of the most impressive at-bats I've seen from him was that ground out to second base. He kept getting pitches that were away, and he kept fouling them off to the left till he got one that he could pull. When he got one he could pull, he hit the ground ball to second and moved the runner over to third.
He's out of Whittier, California at Oral Roberts University. Another 3-2 pitch on the way. Change up, popped up, but that's going to get back into the crowd. That might have been out number 3 last year, but this year safely back into the hands of a fan who got himself a souvenir. And it's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. He may not win this ball game, but Kevin Foster has been just what the doctor ordered for Jim Riggleman tonight. Another 3-2 pitch on the way. Popped up again back into the crowd. And again, Lockhart fighting off a high inside fastball. Foster wants a new baseball. America's guest, Howard Jones, a fine professional amateur golfer, listening in tonight, hanging out with his buddy Jim Dush and pulling for the Braves. You want a free meal, folks? He knows where to find it. Another payoff pitch to Lockhart. Hammered to right field. It's going to fall in front of Sosa. Klesko will score. To the plate comes Lopez. Here's the throw, and he's out. So the Braves come away with 1. What another good at-bat for Keith Lockhart. Sosa guns down Lopez. And as we head to the 7th inning, we're back where we started. It's a 2-2 ball game. Well, it was a good at-bat for Keith Lockhart. He gets the RBI single. But the Braves challenge the throwing arm of Sammy Sosa, and he has a gun. The final out of the inning recorded at home plate. Javi Lopez being gunned down, and as we head to the 7th inning, we're all tied at 2. Braves have out-hit the Cubs 9-5. And left-hander Terrell Wade will take the wraps off of the '97 season. In 44 ball games last year, 69 innings, 79 strikeouts. Wade 1-2 with a 3.9 this spring. He was in 7 ball games, 6 of them as a starter. He tallied himself up some pretty good innings. He worked 23 innings, allowing 22 hits. He walked 6. He struck out 18.
And he will make 2 starts this month. All of the off days this month have enabled the Braves to put Terrell in the bullpen a little bit because they're going to be going with their regular 4 starters most of the time. He'll start April 12th and April 29th, those 2 games. And a significant part about that base hit by Keith Lockhart, that was the first hit for the Braves this year with runners in scoring position. They'd been 0 for 22 with runners in scoring position before that base hit.
And we're all tied as Kevin Ory leads it off in the Cubs' half of the 7th inning. In the 2nd inning, Ory grounded to Blauser at short. In the 5th inning, he squirted one off the end of the bat to Fred McGriff. A rising star in the Cubs organization. Wade's first one is down low, and it's 1-0.
Bob Patterson is up now in the Cubs bullpen. Brad Klontz throwing for Atlanta.
Wade got 96 off to a great start. His changeup catches the corner. It's 1-1. Remember last year, in his first 15 ball games, he had 16 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings. He's going to be a good one. Here's the 1-1 to Ory. Over but low, just a little bit below the kneecaps of the big right-handed hitting third baseman, and it's 2-1. Kind of hard to, on a guy like Wade, who brings a strike on 2-2, got to be a tough decision as to what do you really want him to do with the rest of his career.
I think he'll be a starter eventually.
If you decide to go that way, he showed you last year he can start. He was 3-0 with a 3.6. But as a reliever, he was 2-0 with a 2.34 earned run average. His 2-2 pitch to Ory popped back our way. It'll drop into the crowd just below us, and it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. It would sure be tempting, though, to think about the tandem of Wade and Wolders coming out of the bullpen. That would be some lefty-righty gas. It would bring back memories of Gossage and Forster over in Pittsburgh.
That's what Houston has right now with Wagner and Hudek.
A new baseball for Wade. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Changeup swung on and missed. That's something new in his arsenal that he has worked on. And worked on it very effectively. He strikes out Ori to start the 7th. And the Cubs will send their first baseman to the plate, Brent Brown. Lefty against lefty. Brown sent one to McGriff his first time up and got himself a single to left field the second time. That one coming in the 5th inning. Wade's first pitch. Brown shows bunt and looks at a breaking ball wide. 1 ball, no strikes. Terrell, a quick worker. Infielders like that. There's a strike at the knees, and it's 1-1. He's all set to go again. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Brown. Cut on and foul back to the screen. That'll make it 1-2.
Terrell has a great approach to his situation, too. He sees the starting rotation for the Atlanta Braves, and he knows that he hasn't really earned a spot in that regular rotation yet. And he said, hey, whatever they want me to do, I'll be ready.
And he has come out ready tonight. Getting a strikeout the first hitter he faces, and now 1-2. Richmond came away a winner today. They beat Scranton Wilkes-Barre 4-1. Brock wins it. Lower loses it. Brown flicks one into the crowd behind the Cubs dugout. Boy, they scored all their runs in the first 2 innings and made it hold up. Chris Brock now 1-0 for the R Braves. One and two. Wade doesn't like the first sign. Now he's ready, and here it comes. Ground ball. McGriff loves it. Good play. Foot race. Fred wins it. I don't know if you could hear the crack of the bat, but that ball was smoked. And McGriff picked it right off his shoe tops. A nice little smooth Olay move. And the foot race goes to McGriff. There's out number 2 here at the top of the 7th inning.
Looking at that replay, he did a great job of following that ball right into his glove. A lot of times you'll see a first baseman or a third baseman sort of flinch on a play like that, just sort of reach for it. He followed that ball right into the glove.
And got himself a good play. Here's Scott Service. The catcher takes ball 1 upstairs. Service popped to second in the 3rd inning, flied to center in the 5th inning. What's he get off the scoreboard?
Hawks are tied with Detroit for the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference. They beat the Pistons 103-89. Christian Laettner 30 points, Steve Smith 21, Mookie Blaylock 21.
Nice night for the Hawks.
They've got the Knicks tomorrow night. That's the next team they're trying to catch.
It's a ball and a strike to Scott Service. Braves shade him toward right field. Here's the 1-1 pitch. He lays off the breaking ball, but the right hand of Charlie Relaford goes into the air, and it's 1-2. Boy, I like Terrell Wade's approach. You get the ball, come to the plate, no fooling around. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Popped up. That's going to be way back into the crowd. Javi Lopez will learn in a while after playing all those games over at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. That ball goes up off the end of the bat. You immediately try to figure out how far you got to run to catch it. Here you take about 3 steps and watch a fan grab a souvenir. Still 1-2. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Up and away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Service out of the batter's box. Now he's back in. And the 2-2 pitch about to be made. That's foul back to the screen. It's still 2-2. Service a take charge type catcher. If you ever watch him during telecast or you're at a game, he is always yelling out to his pitcher, running that show. Originally signed by the Houston Astros. He lays off a high fastball, 3-2. When that trade was made, he was traded along with Luis Gonzalez for Rick Wilkins a couple of years ago. Hit .265 last year for the Cubs. Payoff pitch on the way. High, ball 4. So after getting off to a good start, striking out Ori and getting the ground ball out off the bat of Brent Brown, Terrell now walks Scott Service. And that does two things. One, it obviously prolongs the inning, but it means the pitcher spot is going to be here. Boy, you love having that pitcher spot lead off. But it looks like Jim Riggleman is going to go to the pine, and he's going to bring up a pinch hitter.
Jose Hernandez.
Hernandez, number 18 on his back, loosening up over in front of the Cubs dugout. Hernandez, originally signed by Texas. Then he made a stop in Cleveland, and he was a part of that trade that sent Heathcliff Slocum over to the Indians. Part-time player for the last 3 years for the Cubs. Got a little pop, too. He hit 13 homers back in '95. 6'1", about 180, out of Puerto Rico. 27-year-old infielder. He may be a late bloomer power-wise. He has 23 home runs since opening day in '95, and I think his whole minor league career he only had 17 or 18.
Hit 10 last year.
The stretch, the pitch. Changeup just misses the outside corner, and it's 1-0. So a good night at the office for Kevin Foster. He gave Jim Riggleman 6 good innings. 1-0 pitch, good changeup, waved at and completely missed by Hernandez. That'll even the count at 1-1. Cubs back here tomorrow. Schwartzbauer and Smoltz. That's a good pitching matchup. The 1-1. Hit off the fist and out of play, right side, climbing back into the crowd. Nice catch and a souvenir to take away from Turner Field tonight. Terrell Wade, a new baseball, rubs it up, gets it to his liking. Plants that left foot against the pitching rubber, bends over at the waist as he waits the sign from Javi Lopez. Has one that he likes, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Instead, a throw to first.
You know, your comment about him being a late bloomer in the power category really pans out when you look at his career. He spent 7 years in the minor leagues, hit 24 home runs. He's been with the Cubs for 3 years. He's hit 24 home runs.
And he's still a young man. He's one of those youngsters that started playing when he was about 16 years old. The 1-2 pitch to Hernandez. Line drive, center field. A rocket that drops in front of Kenny Lofton. So the Cubs, trying to do a little 2-out damage against Terrell Wade, have runners at first and second. Top of the batting order, Brian McRae. He's already had himself a good night. McRae grounded to Fred McGriff to start the ball game, then triple and scored in the fourth and single in the second. Brad Ponce is ready in the Braves bullpen. Righty against lefty. Wade sets at the belt and sends the first one home. He hits McRae right on the fist, little looper back into the crowd, and it's 0-1. Rondell White has just touched Colorado for his second home run of the year to right center field. Nobody out in the 8th inning off Jamie Wright. That's a 1-run ball game now with Colorado holding a 5-4 lead. We're tied at 2. Top of the 7th. Glad you're with us. Pitch to McRae, hit almost the same spot, right off the end of the bat, curling back into the crowd. And Wade quickly ahead, 0-2. Was that Embry throwing in the bullpen, too? I see a lefty right. It's kind of hard from where we are. I know Clance was. And
Must be. He's the only other left-hander out there.
I think it's Embry. No balls, 2 strikes. The stretch, the pitch. Off speed and outside. It's 1-2. McRae, originally a part of the Kansas City organization. Good young ball player. The 1-2 pitch. Hit off the fist into right field. Here comes Tucker. Service is waved home. The throw to the plate, up the line, cut off by McGriff. They've got McCray in a rundown. Now here comes the runner to the plate, Hernandez. They can't get him. The throw bounces out of Javi Lopez's glove. So McCray gets hung up between first and second. McGriff turns his back to the plate, and the Cubbies come away with 2. It's an RBI single for McCray. That scored Service, and Hernandez scores on the rundown. And the Cubs now have a 4-2 lead, and all of this coming after 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning. So give McCray a single and an RBI. And as the Braves pass the ball around, the second run, some good heads-up hustling by Hernandez. And that's going to signal the end of the night for Terrell Wade. Bobby Cox has made the signal down to the bullpen.
Error charge to Fred McGriff on that second run scoring.
All right, so pencil that in. E4. Braves are going to make a pitching change, and as they do, how about a word from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar? They put a 2 spot on the board. McCray now stands at second. Charge Fred McGriff with an error, allowing Hernandez to score. 2 gone, and here comes Brad Clontz. This will be his second outing of the year. He worked in a game in Houston, came in, faced 1 hitter, struck him out. So Clontz against Glanville. That's your matchup with 2 gone in the 7th inning. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Cubs, 2-9 for the Braves. Clontz's first one, he almost hit him. Side-wheeling right-hander sent one right about the left kneecap of Glanville. He had to hot-foot it out of there. Glanville up for his 4th at bat, fly to center, grounded to the pitcher in single, 1 out of 3. The 1-0 pitch, over but low. It's 2-0. A young left fielder, 2 out of 8 to start the year. He's without an RBI. He's without an extra base hit. 2-0 pitch on the way. That misses wide, and it's 3-0. Down in that Cubs bullpen is one Mel Rojas. Just as soon not let them tally up a few more runs before you go to him. 3 balls, no strikes. There's a strike at the belt. That's 3-1. Glanville will be looking for something to handle on the 3-1 count. Here it comes. Chopper up the middle. Blauser's got to hurry. Gloves it at the knees, to the side, to first, and that'll do it. But it's a good inning for the Cubs, not a good inning for the Braves. The Cubs pick up 2. They do it on 2 hits. There was 1 Braves error and 1 left stranded. As we head to the 7th inning stretch, how about a word from First Union? Let's take a moment to pause for station identification. You are a part of the Atlanta Braves radio network.
Braves baseball, exclusively on News Talk 750 WSB. Atlanta's home of the Braves, the Hawks, the Georgia Bulldogs. The sports voice of the South. Depend on it.
Cubs are going to go to their bullpen. It's going to be left-hander Bob Patterson. Patterson, who was in 79 ball games for the Cubs last year. He was pretty much one of those specialists. I think in 79 ball games, he worked about 55 innings. Struck out 53. He can be nasty on left-handers, and it's a left-hander he will face first. Kenny Lofton to lead it off. Michael Tucker on deck, but it might be Andrew Jones in that spot. If Patterson stays out there, the lefty brings it home. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Braves with single runs in the 3rd and the 6th. The Cubbies single runs 4th, 6th, and a pair of them in the top of the 7th. Lofton sends one high and into the crowd left side. It's 1-1. Boy, this Patterson, that's a name it seems like we've been hearing forever.
You have.
And in a whole lot of different unis, too. Ground ball into left field. Good start for the Braves. Lofton just sends one politely into left field between Dunston and Ori. And Michael Tucker makes his way to home plate.
He first came to the major leagues, did Patterson, with San Diego back in '85, then over to Pittsburgh for a couple of years, back to the minor leagues, then back up to Pittsburgh for 3 more, then to Texas for a year, to California for 2, and to the Cubs last year. He's bounced around pretty good. He's been a little over 8 years altogether in the major leagues. 37 years old now.
And about 450 outings as a major league pitcher. Are you surprised to see Tucker here and not Andrew Jones?
A little, but I think Bobby wants to find out some more things about this guy. He's had a very good start for the Braves. Very impressive-looking young player.
Lefty against lefty. He takes the first offering from Patterson down low, and it's 1-0.
I think what he's looking at here, I mean, it's at this time of the season when you're looking at new players that you've only had for a little while, you're thinking about lineup combinations you may use in the future. You might have a very tough left-handed pitcher out there as a starter. You might want to play Tucker in left if Quesco has had trouble with him and Andrew Jones in right. Or maybe... Yeah, that would be the right combination.
Throw to first, but Lofton back easily. This is a guy who doesn't sit around and read the comic books when he's not pitching. He has a degree in industrial technology. 1-0 pitch, hammered to right field. Lofton is headed to third. Here's the throw from Sosa. Late in the third, Braves at the corner. Michael Tucker can hit lefties, and the tying runs are on base.
See, now, Bobby Cox just found out something about Michael Tucker. He stayed in there very well against a left-handed pitcher. Ryan Klesko, as we know, has had trouble against certain lefties. So there's an idea for a lineup that Bobby Cox might be able to use in the future, maybe when Terry Mulholland pitches in this series.
So the Braves looking to get back into this one. Speed at the corners, Lofton at third, Tucker at first, and a rousing ovation for Chipper Jones. Chipper has singled, he's walked, and he's grounded to second. If you like your equipment in good order, Bob Patterson is a good guy to have as a friend on a ball club. He invented a conditioning oil for baseball gloves called Dr. Glove. Now, the doctor's got to operate here. He's got himself in a mess. Runners at the corners. The stretch and the pitch to Chipper. Over at the knees, it's 0-1.
Terry Adams up now in the Cubs bullpen.
Cubs will play the infield back. They're looking for a double play ball off the bat of Chipper Jones. Lofton scampers down the line at third. The stretch by Patterson. And the pitch to Chipper. Over but low, it's 1-1. His 79 appearances last year in a Cubs uni. A club high for left-handers. The 1-1 pitch to Chipper. Changeup misses low, and it's 2-1. He'll turn 38 in early May, but the Cubs thought enough of him that they signed him to this year with an option for next year, so he could very well be trying to befuddle left-handers at the ripe old age of 40. Throw to first. Tucker makes it back easily. Lofton down the line at third. Short lead by Tucker at first. The pitch to Chipper. Again over but low, and it's 3-1. If you're looking for some place to hit it when Patterson is out there, you might want to hit it away from him. In his major league career, he has never committed an error. Chipper could get a pitch to handle. The stretch and the 3-1 pitch. He does to right center field. Lofton will score. Sosa backhands it. Tucker is going to be held up at third. So the tying run 90 feet away Tucker stands at third. Chipper Jones with a single is at first.
He might have had a double out of that. The ball trickled away from Sammy Sosa, but he stumbled. He tripped on the base going around first base and fell down about 4 or 5 feet away from the bag. When he got back to his feet, he had to go back to first. Now, here's one of those situations. Phil Regan, the pitching coach, out to talk now to Bob Patterson. And, Don, you and I were talking about this earlier, about managers wanting that lefty-lefty matchup or that righty-righty matchup. Fred McGriff last year hit .325 against left-handers, .281 against right-handers. He hit a home run every 20 at-bats against lefties, a homer every 24 at-bats against righties. He had much better success against left-handed pitching than he did against right-handed pitching, but they wanted to leave Patterson in there to face him.
But they say, and according to the book, whoever they are and whoever wrote the book, McGriff calls timeout. Patterson backs off. Fred, for his 3 trips tonight, has a single, a strikeout, and a grounder to short. Again, the Cubs will keep the infield back looking for the double play. Patterson sends a breaking ball out of the strike zone, and it's 1-0. A fly ball ties it. Back-to-back-to-back singles by Lofton, Tucker, and Jones. To stretch the pitch. Swing and a miss. McGriff out front on a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fred 6 for 15 to start the year. He has 1 home run. That accounted for his only RBI. Right down on the knob of the bat. Bat high over his left shoulder. The 1-1 pitch. Tries to check his swing, but goes around on a high inside fastball. And 35 or 40,000 or so amateur umpires trying to give some help to third base umpire Gary Darling. But they'll lose that one. It's 1-2. Patterson to look to first. The stretch. There goes Chipper Jones. Pitch, the throw to second. Not in time. He's stolen it. The pitch missed outside. Or did it? A late call by home plate umpire Charlie Relaford. Fred McGriff can't believe it. I thought it was high too, but apparently it is called strike 3. And now the tying run at third. The possible go-ahead run stands at second. And Bobby Cox is going to go to his bench. A warm welcome for Andrew Jones, and Jim Riggleman is going to make a trip to the mound. He asked home plate umpire Charlie Relaford, has he been announced? The answer is yes, he is. So the Cubs are going to make a pitching change, and we're going to take a timeout. Be right back. They still have 2 out there. Andrew Jones has been announced. He's going to stay in the ballgame and pinch hit for Ryan Klesko. And as he does, Jim Riggleman will go to his bullpen. And you folks who listen to Braves baseball down on our Mobile affiliate will have a native son. Terry Adams is going to come on. Adams was in 69 ball games. He's a hard-throwing right-hand. 3-6 with a .294. He worked 101 innings last year. Makes his home in Semmes, Alabama, down in the Mobile area, and out of Mary G. Montgomery High School. If you remember back to 1991, he was the Alabama High School Player of the Year, 4th-round pick by the Cubs. He's already been in 2 ball games, but the way the Cubs starters have gone, everybody in that bullpen has gotten work. And he'll face Andrew Jones. Jones 2 out of 5 to start the year. Tucker at third, Chipper at second. First pitch on the way. Fastball right over the outer edge, and it's 0-1. And Adams can bring some gas. He's a big kid, about 6'3", 210. Comes right over the top. He'll work from the stretch. Then the 0-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball hit out of play. That'll climb all the way back into the upper deck. And Andrew finds himself in a hole 0-2. Andrew hit .261 during the spring. 3 homers, 5 RBIs. And something encouraging to the Braves, he drew 11 base on ball. Tries to lay off the slider, but goes around. So 1, 2, 3, Andrew Jones will go sit down. And Terry Adams comes on bringing some nasty pitches. There's a second out in the inning. So if the Braves are going to tie this one up or go ahead, they're going to have to do it with 2 outs, and it's up to Javi Lopez. Javi's had success against Adams. They've gone up head-to-head 4 times with Lopez getting 3 base hits. First pitch from the righty. Curveball stays upstairs, 1-0. Tucker away from third. Good size lead by Chipper. He'll score on a base hit. The 1-0 pitch hit to right field and hard, but right at Sosa. Battles the light, puts it away. So Adams comes on and slams the door on what could have been a promising inning for the Braves. They do pick up 1. They do it on 3 hits, and they leave 2 stranded. Through 7. Cubs 4, Braves 3. We're heading to the 8th inning. That could have been a big inning, Pete, right there. But here we go. We got ourselves another 1-run ball game.
Yes, we do. It's 4-3, 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Cubs. 3-12 and 1 for the Braves. Changes for Atlanta. Michael Tucker moves to left field. Andrew Jones, a pinch hit for Ryan Klesko, stays in the game in right, and Ryan Sandberg will lead off here in the 8th inning against Brad Klotz. Sandberg is fly to center, grounded out to second, had a run-scoring double back in the 6th inning. 2 RBIs for Sandberg tonight, and 999 RBIs now for Sandberg in his career. Brad Klotz set to go to work. And the first pitch on the way to Sandberg is taken low and inside, ball 1. Tomorrow night, John Smoltz against Dave Schwartzbaugh. And then on Sunday afternoon, Greg Maddux against Terry Mulholland. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside, ball 2. 2-0 on Sandberg. Sammy Sosa on deck. Sean Dunston will follow. The stretch again by Klotz, and the 2-0 pitch on the way to Sandberg, and he takes it over but low, and the count goes to 3-0. 4-3, Cubs on top. We're in the top half of the 8th inning. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Sandberg taking all the way. It's low and inside. He walks on 4 straight. So not a good start for Brad Klotz here. A leadoff walk to Ryan Sandberg to start the 8th inning. And the batter will be Sammy Sosa. He grounded out his first time up. Thrown out by Blauser. Popped to the first baseman in the 4th inning. Was walked intentionally in the 6th. Sosa now just 1 for 13 on the year. Right-hander Paul Byrd has gotten up now in the Braves bullpen. Klotz throws over to first. Sandberg back safely. The Cubs trying to get in the win column for the first time this year. They were swept in Florida. They lead here 4-3 in the 8th. Pitch on the way. Sosa swings. Bouncing ball slowly third. Chipper Jones has it. Goes to second in time for the force. That's all they had time for. 5-4 on the force play. Sosa becomes the runner at first. So after a leadoff walk to Ryan Sandberg, Sosa hits into a 5-4 force. That'll bring up Sean Dunston. He flied to left his first time up. Grounded out to short his next time up. Was retired catcher unassisted on a ground ball. That's a play you don't see every day. But he hit a ball that he thought was foul. But it rested right on the front edge of home plate. That was a fair ball. And Javi Lopez picked it up and tagged him out. Cincinnati trying to hand Florida its first loss of the year. They go to the 9th inning with the Reds on top of the Marlins 9-7. Jeff Shaw in there now facing Rick Helling. Here's Dunston with 1 out, runner first. Throw goes to first, almost threw it away. Checks the runner. And the pitch on the way now to Dunston. He takes it over but low. 1 ball, no strikes. Brad Klotz set a Braves record last year, pitching in 81 ball games. Sosa edging off first where McGriff holds him. Here's the stretch. Throw goes to first. Again, a high throw pulled McGriff off the bag. And Sosa dives back in safely.
There's so many of those throws over and step off and stuff like that are called from the dugout. I wonder if pitchers nowadays really develop a feel for when you should throw over there.
Here's the stretch. And the 1-0 pitch. Grounded foul out to the left. 1 ball, 1 strike. A final in from Montreal, where the Rockies have beaten the Expos 5-4. Jamie Wright gets the win. Mark Valdez the loss. Bruce Ruffin a save. Jeff Reed and Larry Walker had Colorado home runs. It's 3 already for Walker. Henry Rodriguez hit his second. Rondell White his second for Montreal. That's the first loss of the year for the Expos. Runner going on the 1-1. It's low and outside. Throw to second by Lopez. I think he got him. He did. Good throw. Good pickup by Blauser. And caught stealing is Sammy Sosa. Ball short hopped the bag just a bit, but Blauser had the glove right there. It was right on target. And Sosa caught trying to steal as the count goes to 2-1. 2-6 if you're scoring with us. 2 outs now. Base is empty with the count 2-1 on Dunston. And Javi Lopez is continuing his improved throwing, which really began to develop last year. He has thrown out 2 out of 2 in this young season. 2-1 on Dunston. Base is empty now. And 2 men out, the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to third, right at Chipper Jones. He's got it, throws across to first in time. And that's all for Dunston. That's all for the Cubs. In the 8th, no runs or hits, a walk, nobody left. We go to the bottom. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It is 4-3. Cubs leading. Mark Lemke will lead it off against Terry Adams. Lemke tonight has struck out, singled, and a sacrifice bunt. Jeff Blauser on deck. Ray's trying to pull one out here in this Turner Field debut. And the first pitch to Mark, a bouncing ball, 3 hops to the second baseman Sandberg. He's got it, throws on to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that'll bring up Jeff Blauser, who's 0 for 3. He's fly to right, grounded to short, popped to short. They're underway in Seattle, the Red Sox and the Mariners. Tim Nehring, a 3-run homer in the first inning, and a 4-run Boston top of the first. And in the bottom of the first, Ken Griffey Jr. has hit his 3rd to make it 4-1 Red Sox. Seattle still batting. First pitch on the way to Blauser. Here it comes. Fouled back off the screen. The count 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch on the way, and it's high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off at the plate. You know, it's okay with me because with all the diluted pitching they've talked about and all of the expansion, Roger Maris's record has lasted 2 years longer than Babe Ruth's record did.
Yeah, people forget about that because it happened in our generation. We think that Babe Ruth was on forever.
This lasted 34 years. Maris's record has lasted 36 years. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Blauser. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Crowd tonight of 45,044 to witness the first regular season game at Turner Field. That's the regular season record here at Turner Field. Something all the folks can shoot at with the future. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. It's high and outside. 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Blauser. Mike Mordecai has come out on deck. Larry Cassian, a left-hander, is up in the Cubs bullpen. The stretch by Adams. And the 3-2 on the way. Blauser swings, line drive, right center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Sammy Sosa bobbles it out there. Blauser takes a big turn, now goes back as Sosa comes up and gets it back to the infield. But Blauser aboard with a 1-out single. That is hit number 13 for the Braves. There have been no lack of base runners tonight. Braves have left 9 men on. And now Mike Mordecai will come on to hit for Brad Klontz. Boy, Mordecai just missed a pinch hit home run in Houston the other night. He is now 0 for 2 on the year. Both of those at-bats as a pinch hitter. 1 out, Blauser at first. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Cubs. 3 runs, 13 hits for the Braves. The stretch. And the pitch on the way to Mordecai. It's high, ball 1. Mark Wohler's up in the Atlanta bullpen. Braves hoping to take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th and turn things over to Mark, who recorded his first save of the year last night in Houston.
Boy, was he throwing hard last night.
Here's the stretch, the 1-0 pitch, and there's a strike, fastball inside corner. Speaking of throwing hard, this guy, Terry Adams, doesn't do a bad job of getting it up there in a hurry.
How about how simple his mechanics? It's almost like a dart thrower, and then all of a sudden runs it up there about 95. That has to be deceptive for hitters. They call it getting the ball on you because of such a simplicity in his delivery.
Mordecai has faced Adams twice in his major league career. He's 1 for 2. That one hit, a home run. Here's the 1-1. Drill down the left field line. Home run distance, but foul up into the seats. And the count goes to 1-2. Well, you got a guy that throws hard out there, but there's nobody that throws hard enough to get a fastball by Mike Mordecai. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The stretch again by Adams on the 1-2 pitch. Line, left field, base hit for Mordecai. Down to second goes Jeff Blauser, and there are runners now at first and second with 1 down. That's the 14th hit of the game for the Braves. Before Kenny Lofton hits, let's pause for station identification on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Braves baseball, exclusively on News Talk 750 WSB. Atlanta's home of the Braves, the Hawks, the Georgia Bulldogs. The sports voice of the South. Depend on it.
Runners at first and second again for Atlanta with 1 man out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and Kenny Lofton steps in. He fly to center in the first, fly to center again in the third. Struck out in the 5th, had a base hit, came around to score in the 7th. 1 for 4 on the night. Runners first and second, 1 down. Adams looks in for his sign. Creeping in at third is Ori, the pitch on the way. High, ball 1. Fastball missed. Braves have had at least 1 hit in every inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball up the middle. Under the glove of Sean Dunston into center field. Around third is Blauser. He scores. Mordecai stops at second. That looked like an inning-ending double play when it left the bat of Kenny Lofton. Sean Dunston right near the bag at second. It would have been one of those step-on second, throw to first double plays if he had fielded it. It rolled right under his glove.
And that's the only way you're going to double up Lofton anyway.
So Blauser scores to tie the game at 4. It'll be an error charged to Dunston, and that has been the story for the Chicago Cubs this year. They have made a lot of defensive mistakes. Here's Michael Tucker. Runners first and second in a tie game. He swings and misses at a fastball. The count 0-1. No RBI for Lofton, but we're tied at 4. That error tonight, the first made by the Cubs, but they made 5 in the 3-game series against Florida, and they also had a couple of other misplays that an error might have been charged. So the Braves have bounced back to tie it up. The pitch to Tucker is high. Fastball missing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tucker has had a good night. He flied to left in the first. Became the first man to hit a home run in a regular season game at Turner Field in the 3rd. Singled in the 5th. Singled in the 7th. He's 3 out of 4. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. Ground ball, foul down the right side. The count on Tucker goes to 1-2. Tied at 4, but the Braves with a chance to grab the lead here. They've got the go-ahead run down at second. Another runner at first, and still only 1 out. Boy, that looked like another rally killer when that ball left the bat of Kenny Lofton.
I'll bet you the speed of Lofton and his knowing this is the only way we're going to get a double play is if I grab this step on the bag and gun it. You could see his head come up.
He was starting to come up just before he got to the bag. In his haste to make sure he got that throw to first in time, but he never fielded the ball. The ball rolled right under his glove.
I think that if you're a pitcher, if you're an infielder, speed will intimidate you more than power.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Tucker. Chipper Jones on deck. Tied at 4 now in the bottom of the 8th. The stretch again by Adams. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. In the dirt. Gets away from service, but he blocked it. Had it kick off his shin guard and roll up the first baseline. And the runner at second, Mike Mordecai, had broken toward third, but as soon as he saw where that ball was rolling, he stopped and went back. The count 2-2. In the game tonight, Kenny Lofton has 1 hit. Michael Tucker has 3. Chipper Jones has 2. McGriff has 1. Klesko has 1. Bobby Lopez has 2. Lemke has a hit. Blauser has a hit. Lockhart and Mordecai, a pair of pinch hit singles. So a lot of base hits tonight. Braves just trying to put them together and score another run here. The 2-2 pitch will not be made. Adams wheels, looks back towards second. The stretch of the 2-2 on the way. Line, right field, coming on Sosa, makes the catch, throws back to second, but Mordecai gets back safely. That ball was hit hard. Boy, Tucker's had some good swings tonight.
He has not made an easy out, and he's gotten 3 base hits, including the home run. Ball jumps off his bat, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. 2 men gone. Here's Chipper Jones. A single, a walk, a ground out to second. Another RBI single in the 7th. 2 out of 3. Another final in from Toronto, where the Blue Jays have beaten Milwaukee 6-2. Juan Guzman gets the win. Scott Carl the loss. Tim Crabtree records the save, and Joe Carter hit his first homer of the year. 6-2 Blue Jays winners. Here's Chipper, batting left-handed against the right-hander Adams. The runners lead from first and second to stretch. And the pitch on the way. Chipper takes a strike outside corner. 0-1. Chipper, who had the honor of getting the first hit at Turner Field. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Let up, low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. All 3 games in Houston decided by 1 run. Now we're in the bottom half of the 8th inning of the first home game tied at 4. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Line, left field, base hit. Mordecai rounding third, heading home. He'll score without a throw. The throw comes to third, cut off by Dunston. They've got Chipper hung up between first and second. Now Brant Brown looking to run her back to third, throws it back to Sandberg. He chases Chipper back toward first. Back to Brown. Brown applies the tag on Chipper Jones, but the Braves have taken the lead. Chipper Jones with an RBI single. Chipper then caught in a rundown for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Braves take the lead with 2 runs. They do it on 3 hits. 1 huge error for the Cubs. And 1 runner left. We go to the 9th inning. Braves 5, Cubs 4. We go to the 9th inning. Braves on top now, 5-4. A 15-hit attack by the Braves tonight. But until Chipper Jones got that base hit, driving in the go-ahead run, in the bottom half of the 8th inning, the Braves have been battling with the Cubs all night, and battling to come back most of the night. They were down 4-2 at the end of 6 1/2. Now they're up 5-4, and Mark Wohlers will try for his 2nd save of the year. Brant Kluntz worked an inning in the 3rd of scoreless ball. No hits allowed, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Wohlers recorded his first save of the year last night in Houston. He worked an inning in the 3rd, gave up a hit, walked 1, struck out 3. And due up for the Cubs here, Kevin Ory, Brant Brown, and Scott Service. We're going to get a pinch hitter, Tyler Houston, on the bat for Kevin Ory. Houston, the former Brave, 1 for 2 on the air. He has a double and an RBI. He really came into his own after going over to the Cubs last year. He had 222 in 33 games with Atlanta. He had 339 in 46 games with the Cubs with a couple of home runs, 19 RBIs, left-hand batter, wide open stance.
Good fastball hitter.
Wohlers into the windup. The pitch on the way to Houston takes low and inside fastball, ball 1. Talking with Steve Stone, who's a member of the Cubs broadcast crew before the game, he said one of the problems with the Cubs roster right now is that Tyler Houston is their best left-handed pinch hitter, but he's also the only other catcher on the team besides Scott Service. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. The count, 1 ball, 1 strike. The problem there is if you use Tyler Houston in a run-scoring situation, say in the 7th inning, then something happens to your catcher. They don't have anybody to bring in. So they've been having to hold him back in ball games and use him as late as possible. 1-1 the count. Here's the wind by Wohlers and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball strike in the outside corner. It's 1-2. Braves trying to make this first game at Turner Field a winner. Here's the look in by Wohlers. The wind, the 1-2 pitch on the way to Houston, low, 2-2. Brant Brown on deck. Houston has never faced Wohlers before. Might have caught him a few times. The look in by the right-hander. The wind, the 2-2 pitch on the way to Tyler Houston. He swings and misses, strike 3. 1 down in the 9th. And that'll bring up Brant Brown, who has grounded out the first, singled, and grounded out the first again.
Memorable tonight for Wade Boggs, Yankee third baseman, got a base hit, 2,700 in his career.
Sometime next year, he should hit the 3,000 mark. Here's Brown, 1 out, 9th inning. The wind by Wohlers. And the pitch on the way to Brown. Up high, checked his swing. 1 ball, no strikes. Detroit beat Chicago White Sox this afternoon, 8-7. Cincinnati has beaten Florida 9-7. That's the final now. The pitch to Brown is high, 2-0. Kent Merker got the win. Mark Hutton the loss. Jeff Shaw picked up a second save. Reggie Sanders a home run for the winning Reds. Jeff Conine and Charles Johnson each homered for Florida. Big 6-run 7th inning for Cincinnati turned that game around. First loss of the year for the Marlins. 2-0 to count at Brown. Here's the wind by Wohlers. 2-0 pitch on the way. Up high again. Ball 3. 3-0. Dave Hansen has moved on deck. Longtime Dodger. And a good pinch hitter.
Well, he was the guy I was hoping was coming this way.
Now a 3-0 pitch on the way to Brown. It's taken for a strike in the outside corner. 3-1. Now a 3-1 pitch on the way. Brown takes high and outside, ball 4. Wohlers walks him. And the Cubs have a potential tying run aboard with 1 down. And now Dave Hansen on to bat for Scott Service. Hansen this year is 0 for 2. He had 1 year with the Dodgers when you couldn't get him out as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, he's been chasing Manny Mota's record out there for pinch hits.
256 as a pinch hitter last year. 314 as a pinch hitter in 95. Lines one right to the second baseman. Lemke on to first. Double play. Braves win. A line shot by Dave Hansen, but right at Lemke. Brant Brown couldn't get back, and the Braves' first game at Turner Field is a winner. Final score, Braves 5, Cubs 4.